Come on, pretty girl. Last year, one of the thousands of horses waiting to be crammed into trucks like this was a horse named Monetary Justice. 2 years earlier, Monty had been a hero, grandson of the famous Triple Crown winner Secretariat, winner of the aqueduct where he broke the track record. Then he stopped winning. Confused, skin and bones, and like most of these, sold off for a few $100s. He was to be trucked in horrible conditions to Texas, not for retirement in a green pasture, or the pleasure of a respectful rider, but for this. Last year, Monty, along with 49,324 other horses, had been sold to a brutal death. At one of the 2 Texas slaughterhouses, they were to be sliced up for meat that would find its way to gourmet dining tables, maybe in France, Belgium, Italy, Japan, foreign countries in which people eat horses. So many people don't know this is happening. I didn't until about a month ago. Horses give us so much. They win our hearts. But many end up being butchered and eaten. Now, people in other countries think this is okay, but most Americans don't. That's why this practice has to stop, and why we must support the legislation to stop this by law. You think of National Velvet or Seabiscuit or the cavalry riding to the rescue on horses, or just being beautiful out here. But we don't raise them for food. So why are we allowing our American horses to be eaten overseas?
And they're off.
Across America, people who've never been close to a horse know of a place called Churchill Downs. Hearts run wild on Derby Day, the Kentucky Derby.
Let us snow chief between horses, then Vernon Castle. Down the stretch for the first time, Groovy has the lead by a length.
The jockeys know, the trainers know that this is the place and the moment when horses give. Not like other animals, but like only a horse can. This is where horses become great.
They're moving for the stretch. Snow Chief, Broad Brush, on the outside, Badgerland, all 3 horses together.
On Derby Day 1986, a horse named Ferdinand ran to greatness, with Hall of Fame jockey Bill Shoemaker in the saddle.
Bold arrangement. Here comes Ferdinand on the rail. In the final furlong, it's Ferdinand getting the lead. On the outside, bold arrangement and Broad Brush. Nearing the wire, it's Ferdinand in front. On the outside, bold arrangement. Under the wire, Ferdinand under Bill Shoemaker wins the Derby by 2.
Tragically, last year it was discovered that in Japan, Ferdinand, Kentucky Derby winner, 1987 Horse of the Year, had been processed, slaughtered. The tale of Ferdinand and many like it weigh heavily with Nick Zito, the celebrated trainer, a man with 2 Kentucky Derby winners and a Preakness under his belt. Along with me, Nick's now a spokesperson for the National Horse Protection Coalition.
I don't think it's an issue of Republican, Democratic. It's an American issue. That's my opinion. And I think the more people understand this, the better they'd be aware of it, because there's so many ways to save these horses and do other things with them. It's obviously something there that, and again, in my opinion, there should be some consideration, with this horse slaughtering. I mean, it just doesn't make any sense for all the fine work that the people that we have in our industry that have done to prevent this stuff, and not to have it go on.
Nick was a focus of attention at this news conference announcing the formation of our coalition, as was one of the key congressional supporters of our effort to outlaw the slaughter of horses for human consumption by passing the American Horse Slaughter Prevention Act.
He's my husband, Congressman Ed Whitfield.
Nothing like being introduced by your wife, so Connie, thank you. And I also want to extend a very warm welcome to all of you. When you see this many people here, you can understand and feel the sense of importance in what we're talking about here today. We do have a broader coalition now, the formation of this coalition. We are going to bring it to the attention of more people and spend more time, effort, and energy on getting this legislation passed. This is good legislation.
His career winnings were $750,000.
A love of horses is something shared by many, perhaps most Americans. That's why people nauseated by the thought that horses are eaten in other countries are so delighted to discover that there are alternatives, a widespread and growing effort to care for them as they age. Beautiful Afton Farm in Kentucky is now a place where fine horses can peacefully live out their days.
They were sent to the kill pens before they were brought here.
All sorts of rescued horses, not just thoroughbreds, are here at Habitat for Horses near Houston, where they can be adopted.
It breaks my heart the way some people treat horses, and I get back so much more than I give.
The Last Refuge is another Houston area sanctuary where truckloads of horses once headed for butchering get a new life.
You're just like your daddy, huh? Yeah. There.
You like that, huh?
Oh, yeah.
And speaking of new lives, meet monetary justice. You remember that aqueduct winner being loaded into a slaughter truck? Well, this woman, Carol Chapman, bought Monty for $300 seconds before it would have been too late, and Caring Hands are restoring him to his former magnificence.
No one can save the world, but that doesn't stop us from saving our own small little piece of it. And for me, it didn't matter that Monty was the grandson of Secretariat or Monty was the grandson of somebody's carriage horse. He was a horse in need. The amazing thing is that he turned out to be who he is.
Polls have overwhelmingly shown that in acting to stop the slaughter of horses for human consumption and all the cruel treatment that surrounds it, legislators like the sponsors of the American Horse Slaughter Prevention Act, Congressman John Sweeney, Congressman John Spratt, are doing what most Americans want. It's a labor of love for those knocking on the doors of Capitol Hill.
Nobody likes horse slaughter, but there's people that, for some reason, continue to defend it. And that's the same with many of the issues we face. It's just that this one has come to a whole new level, which I think is beneficial for the future, because it shows that we can all work together. You know, we can bring in industry organizations, that we don't have to fight each other.
They've always done what we ask. They carried us into the untamed Wild West. At our command, they charge fearlessly into battle. On the racetrack, they've reached into their own hearts, the depths of their courage, to fulfill our dreams and make some people very rich.
Bill Shoemaker and Ferdinand, winners of the Derby.
We can't turn our backs on what we know so plainly now, that horses have a spirit, a place in our lives, our history, our culture, and our hearts. Something so different from most other animals. By outlawing their slaughter for human consumption, insisting that they be treated humanely, by giving to them when they need us, we nurture ourselves. We do something fundamentally right. Help us do that.